of the world. Petra is the Greek name of the city.
Which people?
Nabatean. Yeah, Nabatean.
Nabatean was Arabic.
Arab people, yes, they are Arab people. So this is an Arabic civilization.
Okay.
Back in history, to the days of Nabatean, they immigrated from the north part of Saudi Arabia 400 years before the Christ. From the 4th century before the Christ, they came to this part of the world and choosing this spot to start their kingdom. They chosen Petra because it is a very strategic point near 3 seas: Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea, and Dead Sea. It is close to these seas, and it is in the road used to for trade, known as the frankincense and incense road. In the past, we have two major roads in the world linking east with west and south with north. East-west road known as the Silk Road. Pakistan is part of the Silk Road. Yeah. Silk Road started from China and ends by Mediterranean Sea. The south route is known as the frankincense route, linking the source of frankincense, which was in Oman and Yemen, to the north part of the world, which was here in Petra. Petra continue its way to Gaza in Palestine as the main port of the Nabatean kingdom. The Nabatean kingdom was Nabatean kingdom was about 800 kilometers long. It started from Hijra in Saudi Arabia now, known as Mada'in Saleh. Mada'in Saleh, it is north of Medina. Medina al-Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. North of Medina is Mada'in Saleh.
Assalamu alaikum.
صباحا هلا حبيب. And to Damascus in Syria now. He is giving his greeting, the policeman, for you.
Thank you.
And to the west, including part of Palestine, Sinai Peninsula, all Sinai was under the rule of the Nabatean, and also they controlled all Red Sea. Red Sea was under the control of the Nabatean civilization. They deal with frankincense and incense as a main source for trade. In their times, 1 gram of frankincense or incense equals 2 grams of gold.
2 grams of gold.
2 grams of gold, 1 gram of frankincense and incense. Frankincense and incense was used in religious purposes for religious needs. And from the Bible, we all know the story of the 3
Kings.
men who came to Jesus and gave him the 3 gifts. The 3 gifts, they were frankincense, incense, and gold. So the Nabatean controlled this part of the world and this type of trade. Also, they dealt with bitumen as one product of oil. Bitumen was collected from the surface of Dead Sea and exported to Egypt the Egyptian used bitumen in mummification, and also it was used in ship industry. They painted the inner parts and the outer parts of the ship with bitumen to make an isolated layer against water and salts in the water, sea water. So they were very rich and very powerful. Nabatean kingdom lasts for about 600 years. 600 years. From history, we know the names of 11 kings of the Nabatean civilization. Their names were Arabic names: Harith, Malik, Ubada. Yeah, these are the names of the Nabatean kings.
Nabatean king.
Yeah, and they were advanced in science. We found a lot of evidence that the Nabatean people, they were advanced in astronomy, in mathematics, in timekeeping, and they left a very magnificent architecture work represented in Petra. Petra is one city in the world. There is no other Petra in the world. You can see many Roman cities like Jarash, Gadara, Roma, Ephesus, any city in the Roman civilization. You can find a lot of examples about that city, but in the Nabatean civilization we only found Petra. It
Only
is
the one city.
the only city in the world crafted in the mountain. It is not constructed, it was crafted in the mountain. And it was described in Quran: وَتَنْحِتُونَ الْجِبَالَ بُيُوتًا فَارِهِينَ وَتَتَّخِذُونَ مَصَانِعَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَخْلُدُونَ وَإِذَا بَطَشْتُمْ جَبَّارِينَ. These are the description of the Nabatean civilization in Quran. You crafted the mountains, you built factories in seeking for eternity, but you will end, you will die. So back to the Petra. Petra is the female name of Peter. This is the Greek name.
Yeah.
Female name of Peter, which means the rock. The Arabic name of the city is Sila or Rakmo. Sila also means rock in Arabic. So Petra is the female name of Peter, and it's the Greek name of the city. They built very magnificent buildings inside the site and left a lot of monuments behind them. They chosen their city in a sandstone area, so it was a little bit easy to form the mountains using the tools like chisel, axe, and hammer and nail to make these magnificent buildings. They were attacked by the Greek for the first time in the year 312 BC, and that was the first time it was mentioned in the historians' books for the westward.
It was BC or AD?
BC 312 BC. But the Greek were defeated because Nabatean, they were strong soldiers, trained well, and brave enough to stop the Greek. Again, in the 1st century before the Christ, in the year 63 BC, the Roman attacked the city for the first time under the leadership of General Pompey, but they were defeated and they did not manage to conquer Petra. Till the 2nd century after the Christ, in the year 106 AD, 106 AD, they were attacked by the Roman, and the Roman took the city and became one of the Roman cities. At that time, this part of land in the days of the Roman was named as Palestine, and they gave it the name Arab the Arab the name I just forgot it, sorry for that, but it was of Arabic Petria, yeah, because it was made from stones. Then it became a Roman city. The Roman added a new part for the old Nabatean city, and they stayed here for several centuries. In the 4th century, the Roman became Christian, and Petra was a bishop center for Christianity, and there was many churches built in the city. Then in the year 363, in the 4th century, there was an earthquake in the area, damaged part of the city. It was partially evacuated from people. Again, 100 years later, in the year 460, there was another earthquake in the city, also damaged part of the city and partially evacuated. The major earthquake hit the city was in the year 747. I mentioned 747 AD. That earthquake was responsible for the damage of most the cities in the east, and that was mentioned in the morning as the main reason for the destruction of the Umayyad dynasty. But for Petra, it was the last earthquake to let the city be evacuated totally from people. So it was evacuated till the 12th century, when the Crusaders came to the area and they built a series of forts in the country. 3 of them was in Petra itself. This was the situation for 2 centuries. After the Crusaders were repelled from the city, it also went into neglection again till the beginning of 19th century. In the year 1812, a Swiss traveler came with a British mission to visit the east, and he visited Petra. He was named John Perkhart. John Perkhart. He claims that he is Muslim and gave himself the name of Abraham, and he claimed that he wants to sacrifice for our own shrine, so he need a local guy to accompany him. They went to visit the old city of Petra, and